In the spirit of Elul Rosh Hashanah, I thought it was worthwhile to take a bit of a dive into the question of why we're here. And if we understand why we're here, I think we'll have a better idea of where to contextualize good things and bad things, even things as horrific as the Holocaust. Interestingly, the questions of why we're here are prerequisite, which means that in order to do the things that we need to do in this world, we need to have answered some basic questions. And the one who addressed those basic questions, perhaps most famously, was the Ramchal. The Ramchal went to the Yesod HaChasidus, V'shoresh ha'avoda tmima. The most fundamental thing that a person can do is figure out why he's here and what he's meant to do with the time that he's here. And he wrote that the most crucial ingredient in the building block, that which the whole system of a person's life has to build on, is that this world is a tool for being able to achieve the closeness to Hashem, the bliss, the enjoyment, the delight, the oneg of closeness to Hashem, which can only be provided in its fullest form in Olam Haba. That's the only place where there are no distractions, where nothing is pulling the person away from that closeness to Hashem, where the closeness is being renewed on an ever fresh and new level every single moment of the person's existence. There's no downtime. It is non-stop bliss of connection and renewed connection, and yet more connection to Hashem, because as everybody knows, you can enjoy something, but it gets old. You enjoy it for a while, but at a certain point it gets stale, it gets old, but not when we're talking about the oneg of the connection to Hashem. So that is nonstop. Every moment is a renewed moment of connection, a new wow, if you will. And that is only possible, and the place for that is the world to come. We know that there are certain experiences in this world that echo that experience in the world to come. Anybody who has immersed themselves in the study of Torah knows that they have a sense of what that looks like, where every moment is a renewed connection. There is some of that available in Shabbos, but that's what we're here for. And the way that we can know if we are activating this prerequisite is if we view each of the interactions and the moments that we have in this world as an opportunity. If the system is correct, that means that we are always on the road towards Olam Haba. Every moment can be used, and I think it's fair to add that you'll never be able to use all of the moments of this world. There's too many opportunities. Every moment is another 1,000 opportunities to translate the human experience into dveikus. Sorry about that. The camera just went off. So if every moment is another opportunity for dveikus, it's not just one opportunity, it's perhaps thousands of opportunities. I'm sorry. Try this again. Technology. Right. Let's see if there's any. So when we let's assume for a moment that we are looking at this world as an opportunity, as a vehicle, as a tool. If you're looking at it as a tool, you will know that you are moving along the road if you're not getting frustrated. Frustration, which is the cousin of anger and strategizing and blaming, are all evidence that I view this world as the goal or the destination, not as a tool. So that doesn't mean that a person is supposed to sit passively, but any action that a person is supposed to take is taken in the context of this action is meant and is designed to bring me closer to what this world is for. Ha'olam hazeh dome leprosdor. This is an anteroom. Haskein atzmacha baprosdor, kidei shetikanes latraklin. Prepare yourself in this anteroom so that you can come to the main banquet. And what the whole world is trying to sell us is the message that, no, you've got to make this world into a perfect world. This world has to be the place where everything works. But when you misuse, imagine that somebody would be frustrated if he couldn't use bars of soap in place of bricks to build the building. It's like, oh, can't believe it. You would say to him, hey, a bar of soap is perfect for what a bar of soap is meant to be used for. The fact that it doesn't work is because it's not meant to be a brick. You can't build a building with it. Yeah, but it's all I've got. I don't have anything else. All I have are these bars of soap. Then maybe you can't build a building. That's certainly possible. Maybe you can't build the building because you don't have bricks, but it doesn't make sense to use bars of soap. They won't sustain, they won't be able to bear the weight. It's something that once you know it, it becomes obvious and it does not become frustrating. You may say, okay, but if I want to build the building, let me sell my bars of soap. Very good. Sell the bars of soap. You use that money to buy bricks and mortar, and you start building. That's appropriate, but it's not a product of frustration. It's a product of an understanding and a recognition that bars of soap are not building blocks, that you can't build with them. If you need to build, then there needs to be a step in between. And so you go about that step because you want to build a building. So that is the way we're supposed to view this world. The world is only for one purpose. It is designed so that we can use it to become more transcendent, more connected to Hashem, so that we will be able to benefit from the joy and the bliss of Olam Haba. And make that really clear, because if you were to tell someone who is very steeped in this world, trying to feather their nest and trying to, whatever it is that they're trying to do in this world, and they're very steeped in that, and you would tell them that there is a place which we're going to go to where we'll be able to have eternal spiritual bliss. And look at his reaction. His reaction is going to be, is there a door B? Is there a place where I could, is there an alternative? Because that does not sound appealing. So the key to the story is A, not viewing this world as what it's not meant to be used for, but B, making sure that the idea of coming close to Hashem and being eternally in that closeness is appealing. Because if it's not appealing, as somebody said, you know, they may not be playing basketball in Olam Haba. And if they're not playing basketball in Olam Haba, and what you want is to play basketball, then Olam Haba is going to be frustrating. It's to such a degree that the Gemara says that Rava said to his students, please, I'm asking you, lo tarsi tarti Gehenna. Please don't inherit two Gehennas. What's the two Gehennas? He said, this world is a Gehenna because you're doing mitzvos and learning Torah, and it isn't really what you want to be doing because you don't really want to connect to Hashem. So you're not doing what you want to do in this world. And the next world is going to be Gehenna because all they have to offer is spiritual closeness. And that doesn't turn you on. That doesn't float your boat. So then this world becomes a Gehenna and the next world becomes a Gehenna. So he asked his students, don't inherit two Gehennas. That's really sad. Well, is he suggesting that they should indulge in this world and view that as that precludes them from the next world? They'll have this world, and it precludes them from eternity. I don't think that he was advocating that kind of a trade. But the basic message, don't inherit two Gehennas. Because if the idea of closeness to Hashem is not appealing, and having the closeness to Hashem be appealing is really the definition of what we term in our world, we call it Yiras Shamayim. That's the term. Yiras Shamayim is that term. When the idea of closeness to Hashem is ultimately appealing, and it increases in its appeal as the person develops the clarity of why we're here and what we're meant for, that we're designed for that eternal bliss. So that's the idea that this world has built in as an opportunity, and we have the opportunity to focus on the fact that there is such a thing as eternal bliss. It's not going to be here. Certain parts of that bliss can be here. Person, as I said, who studies Torah, who raises children, a person who sees Torah being a person who prepares Shabbos, a person who enjoys Shabbos, gets a little glimpse of what that can look like. But so there's this dual message at the core of a person's existence, which is I'm here in order to use this world to have eternal connection with Hashem, and I want that connection. I'm building myself in such a way so that that connection, I find the part of myself, the person's neshama, I find the part of myself that finds connection with Hashem to be enormously appealing. Appealing to the point where it overshadows anything else. It outstrips and overshadows anything else. You give me any other opportunities, they don't hold up. They don't hold up. Why don't they measure up? Because I've got what I've got is exactly what I'm looking for. So the way that I think of this is one word. It's the word kidei. The word kidei, in order that. There's a tefillah that you'll find in many sidurim. It's usually printed in Shema Kolenu. And the tefillah starts with Ata hu Hashem Elokeinu hazonu mefarnes mikarne re'emim ad beitze kinim. You sustain all mankind, and you sustain all creatures, from the biggest to the smallest. I'm asking you, Hachifeni lechem chuki. I'm asking you to sustain me and my household. And I'm asking that it should be with Shefa. And I'm asking that it should be from the Brecha Elyona, the heavenly river, the heavenly fountain. Then, Kidei she'uchal la'asot risonecha v'lasok b'sorosecha. There's a kidei. In order that. In order that is the key to the whole story. Everything hinges on the kidei. That means that all activity in the world has to be able to track its way back to that kidei. In order that I should be able to come closer to you and do your will and know your Torah and and that's why I'm asking for sustenance, because a person who doesn't have sustenance is disturbing to the point where it's very hard to serve Hashem. Yaakov Avinu said, I'm willing to serve Hashem on an absolute level, but he made a condition that he should have what to eat and clothing to wear. So I'm asking that you should grant me parnasa, kidei, in order that if we just use that one word kidei in our daily internal conversation, where we're asking ourselves, what's the kidei in whatever endeavor I'm doing, whatever I'm involved with in olam hazeh, whatever endeavor, whatever struggle, whatever I'm trying to do, what's the kidei? And that kidei we have to always nudge to make sure that the kidei is cleaner and cleaner, so that we have a sense of a wow, of I have such an amazing future to look forward to, and what I'm doing now is contributing to that. It almost, from a motivational standpoint, the kidei makes life easier. Because when you have a kidei, I don't like to quote people like Nietzsche, but he said a person who has a why to live can live with any how. That was his line. Frankl quoted him often, but that was his line. A person who has a why can live with any how. He can live with any circumstance because he has a why. And so a person who has a kidei in his consciousness, and the kidei is developed into an excitement, he's looking forward to the closeness to Hashem, then whatever it is that he's doing starts gaining new meaning. and it becomes easier to do. There's less internal opposition. I don't feel dragged. I'm not getting to Gehennas where I'm being dragged away from what I want to be doing in this world. And then tragically, what is there waiting for me if that's not something that brings me bliss? And so I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to go back to those basics and to revisit those first opening lines of the Mesillas Yesharim, where he defines for us what is it that a person is meant to do. What he's meant to do is to clarify why he's here, to get the meaning of that to the point where he's looking forward to it, where he's utilizing this world as a tool and not as ends in and of itself. It's a means, and when he utilizes it, it starts animating him. It starts to make the challenges seem almost, he looks forward to it. He doesn't want necessarily to have it to be easy because he knows that every challenge that he overcomes brings him closer to his goal. And so there isn't this constant struggle with, I want everything to be easy. And that is food for thought as you go into the week, Be'ezer Hashem.